You ever feel like you're just adrift in your career? Maybe bouncing between jobs, but without any real sense of direction? It's a super common feeling. But what if I told you there's a tool, a really powerful one, that can act as your personal guide? Well, today we're diving into your professional values, the inner compass that can literally lead you to a career you actually love.
I mean, so many of us have been there, right? You're standing at this professional crossroads, looking at what feels like a dozen different paths, and you're just completely overwhelmed. It's confusing, and honestly, it could be just plain exhausting. You know, the source material calls this the career maze, and that is such a perfect description. It's like one path is promising all this excitement, another one is all about security, and a third one is offering real impact. With all these options pulling you in different directions, it's absolutely no wonder we can feel totally paralyzed. But what if you had a way to navigate this maze? That's exactly where professional values come in. Seriously, think of them as your personal internal compass, always pointing you toward a career that feels truly authentic and meaningful to you. So let's be super clear here. Professional values aren't just these fuzzy, feel-good ideas. No way. They are the deeply held beliefs about what has to be there in your work for it to feel right. They're your non-negotiables, the core principles that point you toward your professional true north.
And it's really important to get this straight, the difference between your skills and your values. Your skills are the what, the things you can do, like writing code or analyzing data. But your values, they're the why. They explain why using those skills brings you such a deep sense of satisfaction.
And of course, these values are different for everybody. Just take a look at these examples. Which ones kind of jump out at you? Is it autonomy, that freedom to be your own boss? Or maybe it's service, that really powerful drive to help other people. Just noticing what resonates with you, that's the first huge step.
So what is it that makes these values so incredibly powerful? Well, to really get it, we need to look beneath the surface. And the source material uses this fantastic analogy for this, the iceberg model.
Okay, so the core idea here is that what people see, your behaviors, your decisions, how you react day to day, that's just the tiny tip of a massive iceberg. The real things driving your actions are hidden way down deep beneath the water.
Right below the waterline, you've got our thoughts and feelings, and those directly shape our behaviors. But that huge, invisible base of the iceberg, that's where our core values and beliefs live. They're like the fundamental operating system that's just silently running in the background, shaping every single thing we do.
This brings up a pretty fascinating question, doesn't it? If your values are this hidden foundation, what principles are quietly steering your career choices right now, maybe without you even fully realizing it?
All right, this next part is where things get really interesting. We usually think of our values as being these purely positive things, right? But the source material introduces this super fascinating, nuanced idea, the duality of our values. This is such a powerful concept. It's not saying that any value is inherently bad. Not at all. The bright side is the amazing motivation it gives you. But when we push that value to its absolute extreme, a dark side can start to show up.
Think of it like a campfire. When it's controlled, it gives you warmth and light. That's its bright side. But if that fire rages out of control, it becomes destructive. The exact same principle applies to our values. An overemphasis on any single one can lead to burnout, conflict, and just deep dissatisfaction.
Let's look at a few examples here. Take the value of achievement. Its bright side is obvious, right? High motivation, a drive for excellence, success. But its dark side? That can look like chronic stress, perfectionism, and eventually total burnout. Or how about integrity? The bright side makes you trustworthy, ethical. But if you take it too far, it can lead to rigidity, making you so principled that you just can't compromise. It's all about finding that balance. So, the huge takeaway here isn't to just abandon your values. Of course not. It's about managing them. The goal is to harness all that powerful positive energy from their bright side while being self-aware enough to steer clear of the pitfalls of their dark side. Okay, so now that we get what values are and their hidden complexities, how do we actually put all this knowledge to use? Let's get practical and talk about how to actually chart your own career course using these insights. And this is where the payoff is. Once you have this kind of clarity, everything changes. A new job offer isn't just about the money anymore, it's about alignment. A conflict with a coworker isn't just a disagreement, it could be a fundamental clash of values. You get this powerful new lens to see your entire professional life through. And the source material gives us a simple 3-step framework for this. First, discover your compass. Just identify your top 3 to 5 must-have values. Second, evaluate your path. Use those values as a filter for every new opportunity. And third, and this one is so crucial, set your boundaries. Use your values to decide what you will and won't accept, and to know exactly when and why you need to say no.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this really powerful idea. Real career success isn't just about climbing some corporate ladder. It's about building a professional life that's a true reflection of who you are. Aligning your work with your inner compass is truly the only way to build long-term sustainable fulfillment.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Just take a second to think about your current job, your daily tasks, your biggest long-term goals. Are they all pointing in the same direction as your inner compass? Because knowing the answer to that question, well, that's the first step toward building a career you can be genuinely passionate about.